Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel GMB Today. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Professional quizzer Anne Hegerty is a firm favorite of ITV The Chase fans, where she is known for playing her straight-laced role as the governess. It's been a long journey for professional quizzer Anne Hegerty, 66, and she has come far from the days when, during a difficult period in her life, a council worker had to help her open her post. A firm favorite amongst the Chase fans for her straight-laced persona of the governess on ITV, Anne has become a staple part of the British quizzing scene. But her love for general knowledge and competitive streak goes well beyond the last few years, which have taken her career to new heights of success. Even back in the mid-1980s, she made a television appearance showing off her intellect. A stint on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here made her something of a household name and earned her dedicated fans beyond those hooked to quiz shows. Christine McGuinness skips night out after sharing that she misses her kids. Back in the 80s, Anne took a turn in the mastermind chair, with the special subject of The Life and Works of Lorenz Hart, and she looked totally unrecognizable with a curly short hairdo and a patterned dress. That was pretty emblematic of the loud styles that were all the rage then. Her appearance took place in 1987 when she was 30 years old and working as a freelance journalist. But it isn't the only unlikely throwback of the TV personality that has shocked her fans. An old photo of Anne when she was even younger, with long curly locks and a cheeky smile, the snap from 1983 was pretty much unrecognizable to her fans, who are so used to her formidable governess persona. These days, Anne is almost always seen in a smart suit that is reminiscent of a schoolmarm, something she has called stupendously unflattering, but does admittedly fit her quizzing persona perfectly. The governess character is a bit creepy, Anne has said, revealing she based the persona in part on Professor Dolores Umbridge from the Harry Potter series. But a friend of mine said, "You won't be able to sustain that." So I went down the more of the standard scary route, and in recent years, at least one American viewer has compared me to Professor McGonagall from the Harry Potter films, she previously told Stuff. So McGonagall, not Umbridge, I'll take that. Before becoming a star on The Chase, Anne was going through a difficult time in her personal life. She had been working as a freelance proofreader, but found things getting on top of her. Anne, who is autistic, found it tricky to stay on top of her accounts due to her condition. She was living in council housing when a worker from the housing association came to her home because she had fallen behind on paying her rent. "I just simply couldn't keep it going, and the result was I wasn't paying my bills. But I was trying not to go on benefits on the grounds that I just thought that was sort of giving up. I wasn't giving up," Anne has said. The TV star explained that during the visit, the women from the housing association stepped in to help Anne get back on top of things. "She was stepping over piles of unopened mail and realized we had a problem. She said, 'We will fix this. I will get someone to help you,'" Anne explained. Anne was also put in touch with a social worker who helped her sort out her finances and made sure she was receiving the benefits she was entitled to, the disability living allowance. It wasn't long after this that Anne got her big break on The Chase, and while she has said she is incredibly grateful for her job, she has also admitted some aspects of fame can be tricky to deal with. "It is difficult to go down the street without being recognized. It's weird and interesting," she said of her celebrity status. "There are times when you're not absolutely crazy about it, but I hope I never take it for granted." Anne has also appeared on 15th One, Today's the Day, Are You an Egghead, and Brain of Britain, and in 2016 came in at 55th in the World Quizzing Championships, the second highest woman placing in the competition. Anne is undoubtedly a massive brainiac and general knowledge superstar, but she has admitted her autism has gotten in the way of forging romantic connections. In a candid moment on the Chasers road trip, she confessed to her co-stars Mark Labette and Sean Wallace that her longest relationship had been only 4 months. "He was a lovely bloke, but I am just not good with the sort of attention that people need," she admitted. Anne has never shied away from the topic of her personal life, telling The Guardian that, "I think the problem is, I find it really difficult to fall in love with real people. I've thought, am I in love with this guy? And then we kind of get together and I think, damn it, no, oh dear. She explained further to OK magazine that she struggles at times to stay in the moment. I get overwhelmed in the presence of actual people, and everything shuts down. I found that with sex too. It's like I can't be fully in it. That much intimacy, I almost zone out. However, there is a long list of single men hoping for an opportunity to take out Anne, who is based in Watford, if she ever changes her mind about preferring her own company. Let's say I would not be short of offers if I went looking, but I am happy with my own company, she told The Sun. I've had relationships go wrong precisely because I couldn't devote the mental energy to it, and I just thought no, this is not a good idea. I find men make such great friends, so let's keep them like that. What if I told you that one of Britain's most recognizable quizmasters, the formidable, quick-witted governess from The Chase, once struggled to keep her lights on, let alone imagine life on primetime television? Today, we step behind Anne Hegerty's calm, commanding screen presence and into a life story that's as surprising as it's inspiring. Because this isn't just about fame, money, or celebrity. It's about resilience, independence, and finding happiness in the quiet corners of life. And by the end, you might see Anne, and perhaps yourself, in an entirely new light. We know Anne Hegerty as the no-nonsense chaser with encyclopedic knowledge and razor-sharp wit. On The Chase, she stands like an unshakable wall between contestants and their prize money. But long before the glamour of TV sets and studio applause, Anne faced a far more daunting opponent, financial hardship. There was a time when bills piled up faster than she could answer quiz questions, when the month's end meant a tight stomach and anxious nights. And yet, even then, Anne carried herself with a quiet dignity, proving that true strength often speaks in whispers, not roars. It's easy to think of success as an overnight leap, but Anne's climb was slow, deliberate, and sometimes painfully uncertain. Before The Chase, she worked as a journalist and proofreader, careers that fed the mind, but not always the bank account. Her turning point came not from chasing money, but from chasing what she was good at: knowledge. She entered quiz leagues, honed her skills, and built a reputation in a world where skill is currency. And when ITV came knocking, she was ready, not just to play the part of a chaser, but to own it. Fame often comes with expectations, lavish lifestyles, endless socializing, constant public appearances. But Anne has defied that image. She's spoken openly about being happy in her own company. This isn't loneliness, it's liberation. She enjoys the peace of her own thoughts, the comfort of quiet evenings, and the power of choosing her own pace. In a world that tells us to always be busy, Anne's life is a reminder that solitude can be a luxury, not a punishment. Anne's journey isn't just about escaping financial struggle. It's about knowing your worth even when the world hasn't caught up yet. She's proof that you don't need constant noise, constant company, or constant approval to be fulfilled. Whether you're 25 or 65, whether you're in a bustling city or a quiet village, her story reminds us that success can be built slowly, that independence is a gift, and that happiness often comes from living life on your own terms. So, the next time you watch The Chase and see Anne standing there, unflinching, remember, there's a whole life behind that confident smile. A life that went from counting pennies to counting victories, and she did it her way. But here's the question: could her greatest win still be ahead of her?